Welcome back to the Walker family farm. So I just wanted to provide an update video on the chicken water that I had made. It's been working great, but with winter coming up, it was decided that it would be better to convert it into a nipple system. So as you'll see, I actually have a different bucket on because I'm going to use the other one out in the run when it comes springtime, essentially, because I wanted two anyways. But I decided to go with a nippler system because from what I understand, those do better with bucket heaters. So I went ahead and put 3 of those on there using the same exact method. I'll link the video so that way you can see how I did it before. But the girls, they pretty much picked up on it pretty quickly. But I'm gonna buy one of the water heaters that you just essentially stick it underneath the bucket. You want to make sure that the water heater that you get, people have actually used it and it's meant for plastic. I saw one of the most popular ones that it was meant for metal only. So I'll link it below. I know you want to go out there and eat that green grass, don't you? So I will provide updates on this and show you when I end up putting the heater underneath it. Right now it's not necessarily cold enough for it to freeze, but I wanted to make sure the girls are familiar with these nipples and how to get water from them. I'm sure these will freeze too, because you might not even be able to see it, but there's water that forms right there after they hit it. So I'm sure that'll freeze. I don't know if it'll hold the nipple in place, but we'll experiment with it and I'll update you on it. Main thing that I'm working on today is just trying to get it so that we don't have to replace the freezing water every single day. So we already have power back here in this shed, and so I had already ran it back here. So we're gonna tap off of this and go over to the coop, and we're gonna run it to the pole right out there. So I'm gonna run it down, run it out through the floor right there. It's going to go into conduit that's going to stick up in through the floor, and it's going to run through this tunnel here all the way over to the post. I have one of these exterior boxes that you can get from Home Depot. Just attach it to the pole right here. All I did was just dig the hole and drop the post down in there because a little bit of movement isn't going to kill it. But yeah, so once I mount that in place, I'll just run the conduit right up to it and run the wire through the conduit all the way back. And you do want to seal that conduit with I think it's like a PVC like primer and cement, which I'm going to be doing that as well. So it'll just open right up. You'll have the outlet in there, and I'll just be able to attach it there. I haven't decided how I'm going to run it over to the coop yet. I don't know if I'm going to run like a outdoor extension cord around here over to the waterer. But I bought one of those water heaters that you just stick right underneath of it, and it'll help keep it warm enough that it doesn't freeze. I actually converted it over to a nipple system so that way hopefully it'll prevent from freezing, because the cups, from what I understand, will freeze really bad in the winter to the point where they're unusable. So put little nipples here, and hopefully it'll keep cool, warm enough that it's not gonna freeze. So I believe it's probably code to bury it. I don't know, electricity, I'm not sure. I thought it was like 4 or 6 inches or something like that. So I still have to continue digging this out. I'm going to try to get it as low as I can. I'm using this type UFB cable, 12x2. So it should be like an underground feeder cable essentially. You'll notice that it's like gray, 12 gauge wire. Normal 12 gauge wire that's just rated for like in the walls will be yellow. There's that color right there. But I went with a gray, which is supposed to be rated for underground use. I believe it's only rated for running through, it's not direct burial. You're supposed to put it through conduit, I believe. So that's why I'm doing that. I believe they do have a direct burial. I believe the jacket on it is black though. But yeah, so I will keep you posted. Well, boy, have I been dragging this one out. Finally got it all hooked up over here, and it is ran underground. Used primer and cement for all of the conduit. And so at this point, I'm just going to tie into a receptacle in here. I am currently working on that, and that goes back to here. Then this goes back to the main circuit, which I actually have this shed just hooked up. You just plug it into a receptacle, but it's a GFCI upstream, so hopefully this will do the trick. I went ahead, ran a little extension cord just to kind of extend this a little bit, 10-foot extension cord. And so at this point I have had the heater plugged in. I can put my finger on it, and it gets to the point where it's a little bit like hot, not too hot to like scald my hand, but wouldn't recommend doing it all the time. But the coldest that we've had is probably 26 degrees, and that's not the feels like temperature, but like it'll have like, you know, wind gusts and everything. And I'll come out here and stick my hands in the water, and the water is actually like lukewarm. So this seems to be working pretty good. I checked the bottom of the bucket, and there's no signs of melting. So I just recommend that not to let the water run out in these buckets, but it stays warm enough that it doesn't look like I'm gonna have to worry about it freezing. The only other thing, I have this other water. This one actually has the bucket, or like the cup type on it, so I'm a little bit concerned that that's not gonna work, because the water will just freeze outside of it even if the inside is warm. So I'm not actually going to put a heater on that. So they'll have that primary water, and that'll be it for now. Alright, so currently it is 25 degrees outside, and it feels like 25. It's kind of hard to see, but you can almost see steam coming off of the water. When I hold temperature gauge on it, it says it's about 61 degrees or so. On the actual base, it's running at about different temperatures, different areas. But let's see, and then around the actual, so it's pretty warm here. Let's see if it works. Yep. Works there too. Looking good. And so we come out here, I actually have just a metal water out here, and you can see it's completely frozen through. I actually don't have a heater on this one because I don't think it would work with the cups being outside of it. So you can see that there's a major difference there. Last but not least, I have an extra bit of water in this bucket here. She's solid. I think inside's good. Yeah. You can see there's a good thick layer of ice there. And then there's a layer of ice all the way around the edge. So it definitely makes a difference with the heating base on the bottom. I'll include links in the description below to all the materials and products that I used on this project. If you enjoyed this content, please feel free to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay healthy from the Walker Family Farm.